Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, the 31st of May. This is my week ahead video. Not time for charts today, so I'm going to put this out there for free. Hope you enjoy it. See, this is how I prep for my week and get my room ready to go. As we're sitting here today, it's the last day of May. We start a new month tomorrow, and you know, everything starts new. So no matter how good or bad your May was, it starts good new again here on June, and get your head in the game, and let's go have another good month. We go into this week, and from an economic perspective, you can see there's a lot of red Fed speakers. We have Jerome Powell actually speaking at 8:30 on Monday night. Not sure what that's about. We'll have to go look that up. But then on top of that, we have ISM manufacturing and PMI on Monday. We have JOLTS jobs numbers on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we have the ADP employment report along with flash composite and factory orders and ISM services. The beige book's in there. Thursday is fairly quiet other than some Treasury auction announcements, and then I'll open up the room at 8:25 on Friday morning for non-farm payroll. Earnings this week kind of switches gears a little bit as we switch out here. CRDO is on Monday night. Credo, a lot of you guys like that. We did trade that and had a good time with that one. But then we switch really into some big names. Palo Alto on Tuesday night. Look at a very large software company after Zscaler got sold off. GitLab's in there along with Ulta. Macy's on Wednesday morning, CrowdStrike, the leader of the sector on Wednesday night, along with Avgo's in there, Veev. Thursday night, you got Lululemon, Rubik is in there as well. So, it's a lot of less names, but some interesting names in there. It'll be interesting to see how the market reacts to Palo Alto and Crowd. I'll probably stay late both those nights, especially with Avgo trading as well. From a sentiment perspective, as we go into this week, things are looking better and looking good. Market on the breadth on the NASDAQ is leading up on the New York Stock Exchange, just off the all-time high, also leading up. But the call is extremely bulled up. So we have an extreme reading here. This usually is a type of signal where you get some type of reversal here, a little bit of, to take some of the bullishness out of the market. We'll see if that happens. The only thing I caution with this is it hasn't been as great lately because of all the daily options, right? So we know that, but we do have that. Highs versus lows on the NASDAQ, plus 409 versus negative 89. These are very strong numbers. On the S&P 500, plus 61 versus negative 20. These are very good numbers. Your advanced decline lines, mostly flattening out here now, though strength remains in the NDX. And the oscillators, plus 13 on the New York Stock Exchange, plus 102 on the NASDAQ. So positive side of neutral for the New York Stock Exchange, ever so slightly overbought on the NASDAQ, and not a big deal. So as we go into this week, we always start off here with the ES, and the ES has been on this tear, right? You can look at this move here, beautiful move up and riding, riding, riding. We had one close under the 8 days since all the way back here on the 30th of March. That's 2 full months, basically, other than one day above the 8 day. And Q, similar, right? Looks very strong. Both of these just continue to extend. Crude is weakening here. It's back under 90. Still no deal here as of Sunday. Supposedly we've sent more back to them. We'll see. Bonds off the lows. We needed to see that. Gold, silver, gold held a 200-day. Silver, not a heck of a lot going on there. Bitcoin, not much there either, right? We'd really have to see that one wake up. The VIX looks to smash back down. It is at a multi-month low, so you have to come all the way back here. Let's see, when was the last time? There you go. So right here on this date, the 22nd of January was the last time we had a VIX reading this low. So we got volatility finally coming out of the markets. HYG moving up with the market, but still lagging it. The transports hit a new all-time high and looking good. And the dollar, after being so strong, is kindly going sideways here again and taking time off. So as we go into this week on the S&P 500, what do we expect? We could see some games here. We're certainly due for us another little pause here and some consolidation. In a very big 2 month move up here if you look at April and May. So the market is used due for some pullback, some sideways, but I don't think it's going very far, not at least until we get the IPO out of the way of SpaceX. And the reason I say that is with such big banks behind that, Goldman and Morgan Stanley are the top two dogs, Goldman the top. They're not likely to let the market go far because companies trying to IPO into a weak market don't generally do very well. And they're going to want to push this one to the moon. All right. So SPY maybe comes down, finds the 8 day, goes sideways. If we keep grinding, there's your 7 to 60 area. You can just keep grinding up. Nothing to change there. So when we talk about this now, we look at different sectors and say, what's going on out there? The banks continue to be a mess. They don't want it. right? You can see this. You have this little cup and handle pattern here, and if you really want to get technical on it, you can wait for a break at this little downtrend here. But overall, they don't want it. They've been kind of selling them. Goldman's been the best of the best. They hit a new all-time high. That's probably because of the billions of dollars they're going to bring in off of the SpaceX IPO. Morgan Stanley also, same thing. Another one likely to make billions of dollars. The rest of the big banks, Citigroup, um, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, they just don't want them here. SoFi, a lot of people were talking about this on Friday, had this big pop, didn't hold all that well. I don't know. Is it waking up here? Maybe if it can get back, 19 really needs to break back above 20, but you can keep an eye on it. But overall, the sector in general remains quiet. The payment space along with it, Visa, MasterCard, right? PayPal, there's just not much going on here in that space. Energy, as you would expect, continues to come down and weaken. We'll see where this kind of falls out, but watch if it breaks below that 55 area, could go lower. XBI, the pharma and biotech has been weak, although names like Lilly did put a new all-time high in. But overall, Gilead, right, BMY, you look at some of the winners in here, Merck, this sector has been very quiet. Just United Healthcare, nice little flag there holding up. Overall, that's not an area they want to be. You look at components like on the Dow, like Boeing, not much going on there. GE has been awfully quiet, but holding in. Um, Ford had that beautiful move. Look at this move all the way up to 18 area, that nice little pusher, but they're off that battery business. They like that. I'm no longer in Ford. But overall, nice move on that one. It's nice to be out. Seems like this, they haven't wanted them. UAL, the airlines, up. I don't know. They're buying these back here. I don't know what's going on with Delta that they're pushing this one, but for whatever reason, they think they like the airlines. When I really look out there and I see what's going on with costs through the roof and people stretched, and they are quietly lowering their planes and their guidance going forward in terms of air travel, yet the names are going up. It's just a weird combination for me. So there's this bring us to it brings us to the semis. Let's talk about the semis. The semis have had this big mute here, and then here it is trying to go sideways, and a little rest here would do it some good. The market could use a change in leadership in the semis itself. Micron here, new all-time highs, continues to just defy gravity. SNDK as well. We saw $3,000 price target put on this one on Friday. Seagate, same thing, continues all here being strong. AMD, all over 500, put an all-time high in this week. Marvel, all-time highs last week before pulling in and resting. Abgo breaking out here to an all-time high. This is one we can watch, right? This one just broke out here on Friday. I would watch this one for a day two. Intel gave a hell of a reversal candle on Friday, came all the way back there and engulfed the last 4 days of action here. So let's see if it wants the 21-day there. ARM, probably going to open at an all-time high. Microsoft and NVIDIA are set to announce ARM-based processors today and for PCs. And so we'll keep an eye on ARM off of that and see how that goes. Speaking of NVIDIA, you guys all want me to talk about NVIDIA. I don't have much to say here. NVIDIA, there was nothing wrong with that report. It was a great report. Why are they selling it? I don't know. Why is it not participating? I couldn't tell you. It's not a valuation thing when it comes to NVIDIA. It's probably the only one that has a good valuation in the semi space at this point. But watch. I have 207.50 as my buy trigger on Monday. We'll see what it does. We'll see how this one trades. Right now, it's underneath all the 8 and the 21-day, and for me, it's a risk off. Talk about Dell. That was just an unbelievable blowout report. New all-time highs there, and that huge gap up. The longer it holds that gap, the better it's going to be. Even that got SMCI moving, by the way, and it's closing out on the gap there. We work our way around the Mag 7. Some of the names, Amazon, they continue not to let it out, but it's holding in just fine. Meta, another one, they just don't want to let go. Got into that gap, spent a day and a half into it, and yanked itself right back out. But I still think this one is going to go up and get up to that 200-day and fill the gap. Keep an eye on that one. Google is taking some time off and resting, and watch it now. It's underneath the 21-day here, so you could find a move down here to that gap down at 366 at some point. Apple, continues to look great. Another new all-time high on Friday. This one also could use a little bit of a break though and some digestion. The big change has become in software. IGV with a beautiful move and breakout here. And, it's nice to see that this one finally waking back up again. While they dumped Salesforce on earnings, they have bought back that weakness they dumped, and there it is up. We'll keep an eye on the next big move on this one. If it wants to keep going, with that 205.56 area in that gap. So we'll keep an eye on this one to see if it wants to go up there. They even bought back Path. by the way. A nice little move up there, and we'll see if we can get back above 12. So some names there starting to move. The big moves have come though in other names there. Microsoft had an absolute huge move, got into this gap, and now we'll see if it can get up to the 200-day up there at 458.46 and then finish filling this gap. Nice big move on Microsoft. I keep my eyes on that one. Palantir has woken up the last couple days. You have a move up there to the top of this channel up here, which is roughly about 162 area. Oracle said, don't forget about me. Nice, huge 2-day move. They have their earnings are coming up in about a week and a half, I think, or two. Watch these 230 level and then see if it can clear this little 234 area as well. Overall, this sector is waking up nicely. We'll see what some of the software names have to say this week. Zscaler, they did not like to report, but they bought it back. Crowd and Palo Alto are at all-time highs going into earnings after huge moves. Very tough chases on those. We also saw some changes going in crypto names. We saw Hood just wake up with a fabulous 2-day move to the top of this range, and you don't see moves like this very often. It's got a gap at 95.89. That's an area we'll keep an eye on to see if we can get above there. Coin, not quite so much, still looks kind of weak out there. The other thing to keep an eye on is space. You saw me had up NASA here. The reason I had up NASA because this is a recent ETF that was issued, and CNBC did a piece on it, and it holds a bunch of SpaceX. And so people are wanting to get in SpaceX ahead of the IPO. They're going out and buying some of these ETFs like NASA that hold it. NASA doing about 20 million shares is awfully liquid. And if you look at this, this looks like it's traded. So we'll put this on our list. What we are seeing is these move up in names like Rocket there, right? RKLB, sorry, Rocket Lab, new all-time highs. ASTS has had a nice move, although it came in big on Friday. So we're seeing some of these names wake up. We're also seeing the drone names, right? ONDS with a big move back up there, it's starting to look good. We've seen some of the quantum names waking up. RGTI above that 28 looks good, right? So you get um, QBTS, another one here. So we're seeing this market broadening out. IBM, old tech, with a monster move here all the way up to 300. So, this market is finally starting to broaden out, which is exactly what we've been looking for. So now we see if we can maintain it and give some of these leaders, the semis, a rest. This is how a market can stay up and keep going for a long time, is when you get leadership change and you see rotation. And if we're starting to see that, this market can let some of these names rest and they'll even dip a little bit and then come back to them. Bottom line, we have a busy week ahead. We got 2 weeks until the SpaceX IPO. Keep this in mind as I'm telling you guys this, as we get into that one, that day before or two, watch some of the big names, especially in the similar space or area. People are going to be selling positions to buy to get their allotments, right? So keep that in mind. With that said, hope you all guys have a great weekend. If you want to join us, I'll put a link in the description. We'll catch you in the room tomorrow morning. Have a good weekend.